Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're getting into gear with 18 phrasal verbs that are absolutely essential for driving. Whether you're the one driving or just a passenger, you're gonna find these super useful. All right, let's hit the road. So, to show you how these verbs work in a real conversation, I'm going to tell you a little story. It's about a pretty bad day I had not too long ago. But here's the cool part. This one story has all 18 phrasal verbs we're going to cover today. So listen up and see how many you can catch. Okay, so it all started when my girlfriend was flying back from a trip. I offered to pick her up from the airport. Simple enough, right? So I got in my car, I backed out of my driveway, and I drove off. I was feeling great, The journey had begun.
But that's when things started to go wrong. As I was trying to speed up to get on the highway, my car just started to slow down. Not a good sign. I immediately pulled over to the side of the road, and the second I did, the engine just completely shut off. Total silence. My first thought, oh no, the car is broken down. But it wasn't that. The real problem was way more embarrassing. I had run out of gas. Yep. So I got out of the car and had to do that awkward wave on the side of the road. I flagged down another driver who was coming my way. So this really nice guy pulled over for me. He dropped off a little gas can, which was a lifesaver. I filled up the tank with just enough to get going, and then I took off like a bat out of hell, trying to make up for lost time. But it was too late. I got a text. My girlfriend had already grabbed a cab, so I had to turn around and drive back home. What a day. Phew, what a story, right? But did you hear how all those phrasal verbs just naturally fit in there? Let's go back and break them down one by one, starting with the very beginning of my disastrous trip. First up was pick her up. To pick someone up just means you go somewhere to get them in your car. And it's not just for people. You can also pick up groceries from the store or pick up a pizza on your way home. Super common. Okay, next I got in my car. This one seems easy, right? It means to enter a vehicle. But here's a little rule that a lot of people actually get wrong. Whether you say get in or get on depends entirely on the kind of vehicle you're talking about. And here's that rule laid out perfectly. We use get in for private transport, things you kind of sit down inside of, like a car, a truck, or a taxi. But for public transport, like a bus or a train where you can actually walk around, you get on. So you get in a car, but you get on a train. Key thing to remember, private transport, you're in, public, you're on. All right, then I backed out of the driveway. This means exactly what it sounds like. You're leaving a parking spot by driving in reverse. We all have to do it, right? Do you ever struggle with backing out of those super narrow parking spaces? I swear, some of them are impossible. And the last one from that first part, I drove off. This just means to leave a place in your car. It signals the start of the trip. On a related note, doesn't it drive you crazy when you're at a party and someone just drives off without saying bye to anyone? Kind of rude, right? Okay, so we've left the driveway. Now let's talk about the phrasal verbs you use when you're actually moving. When you're out there on the road, these are all about controlling the car. And here we've got a classic pair of opposites. To speed up means to go faster, to accelerate. And to slow down means to go slower, to decelerate. Super simple. So let me ask you a question. When you're driving and the traffic light turns yellow, do you speed up or do you slow down? Come on, be honest. Remember in my story, another driver happened to pass by? To pass by something just means you go past it without stopping, because you're on your way somewhere else. Think about your drive to work. What are some of the landmarks or stores you pass by every day? All right, and now for the juicy part of the story. When things go wrong. Because let's face it,
Driving isn't always smooth sailing. This next batch of verbs is perfect for talking about car trouble. When my car started acting weird, I had to pull over. This just means you move your car safely to the side of the road and stop. You might do it if you have a problem or if you see flashing lights in your rearview mirror. Hopefully you're just pulling over to enjoy the view. So I pulled over and then my engine shut off. This means it just stopped working. It's basically the same as saying turn off, and you can use it for all kinds of machines. For instance, do you shut off your computer every night or do you just let it sleep? My worst fear in that moment was that my car had broken down. When a car breaks down, it means it has suddenly stopped working, usually because of a serious mechanical problem. It's a real nightmare. What do you think is the very first thing you should do if your car breaks down on a busy highway? But luckily, it was just that I ran out of gas. To run out of something means you've used it all up. There's nothing left. And this one is so useful in everyday life. You can run out of gas, run out of milk, run out of money. You can even run out of time. So, what did I do? I got out of the car. Hey, remember our get rule? Well, here's the other half. For private vehicles, the opposite of get in is get out. You get in the car to start, and you get out of the car when you're done. Easy. And then came my moment of pure desperation. I had to flag down another car. This is when you're on the side of the road and you wave your arm to signal for a car or a taxi to please stop for you. Have you ever had to do that? It feels a little dramatic, doesn't it? We are in the home stretch, people. The crisis is over and it's time to get everything back on track. This last set of verbs is all about the end of my little roadside adventure. Let's wrap this story up. Okay, let's run through these last 5 really quickly. First, that kind driver dropped off the gas can, meaning he brought it to me and left it with me. Next, I had to fill up the tank, add gas until it was full. Then I took off, which means I left really fast. But it was too late, so I had to turn around, literally do a U-turn and go the other way. And that led to the final step. I had to drive back home. And that was the end of that. And there you have it. 18 super useful driving phrasal verbs all packed into one very bad day. See, they're not just words on a list, they're the pieces you use to tell a story. So now it's your turn. Which of these phrasal verbs are you going to use first? Thanks for joining me.